everybody, and welcome to Quillpen's Quips, Knitting and More podcast. This is episode 11. I am Betsy, also known as Quillpen, on Instagram and Ravelry, and I have my blog, which is www.quillpensquips.com, and if you do /blog, it will take you straight to show notes for this episode and any previous episodes. I also have Quillpen's Quips podcast on Instagram, and a Quillpen's Quips Knitting and More Ravelry group that I encourage you to join. There's places there to chat about the episodes, or to make suggestions or comments or questions, or participate in the cowl that we have going on right now, which I will not forget about this week. We will talk about it later. And so it's a good group that's a good place to do all the chatting about the episodes and any comments or suggestions or questions that you have. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, with a little bit more thrown in about me and my life. So welcome, especially to any new viewers. Welcome. Thank you for checking me out. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And for any returning viewers, thanks for coming back. I am excited about this episode. I have so much stuff to show you guys. I've been like a knitting machine, which I feel like makes up for last episode where I didn't have a whole lot to show you. So I have a lot to show you, although it's all small. So let's get started. First up, of course, is something that I don't have to show you because I've already given it away. Last episode, I had shown you what was on my needles was the cowl for my dad that he requested in my It Is Well cowl pattern, which is available on Ravelry. He had requested a cowl in camo design with a hood, something that he could wear when he was out hunting. And so I made it. I've never made a hood, anything with a hood before. I have a sweater in my queue to make next year post-pregnancy that has a hood, but I've never made a hood. So I didn't really know what I was doing, and I kind of tried to find some ideas. So basically I made the cowl as written in the pattern and extended it, like especially the sort of the negative space above and below the motif and the ribbing edges. I made those longer than the pattern called for to add some space, to add some height. And then I did kind of a modified sock heel, like a short row back and forth kind of thing, making it up as I went along to make the hood. And then he tried it on and it fit well, but it was a little open around the face. I probably should have figured out a way to decrease to make the face a little tighter, but we just added a drawstring, and that solved the problem. And so he has it, he's been using it, he loves it. So I have a picture of my husband in it before we added the drawstring that I will try to add somewhere right about here for you to see. So that has been given away and he is happy with it. So I don't actually have that to show you. Then, sort of in order of finishing, I then finished what I've been talking about for a while in the podcast but have not been able to show you is my tri-colored, what I'm calling my tri-color shawl, for obvious reasons. I picked the colors of Jamaica because I love Jamaica. It is my second home, so to speak. And I realized that I don't have any knitwear in my collection that's Jamaica colored. I have yarn to make a hat that I showed you a few episodes ago, but I don't have anything already made. So I wanted to make a shawl And this is a asymmetrical shape garter stitch the whole way, and then you just change the stripes. And so this is a very, very easy pattern, very quick knit. I really enjoyed it. I carry my yarn up the side the whole way, mostly because I'm not a huge fan of weaving in a lot of ends, and this would have been a lot of ends. And I kind of like the little colorful edge it gives. But if you make it, you are welcome to cut your yarn each time and weave in ends if you don't like that edging. This is unblocked. I haven't blocked it. I didn't like it needed it. And this pattern is available for free on Ravelry. So you can go on and download it. It's the Tricolor Shawl, Betsy Quillpen, and it will be free forever, indefinitely, from now on. So if you're looking for a quick knit, if you want to showcase your 3 favorite colors, or your favorite sports team along with the neutral, or national pride, this is it's a fun, quick, easy little knit. Fingering weight yarn, approximately 600. If you have 600 yards, you would have plenty to make it as is. 600 yards would make this for sure. If you want to modify any of your stripes or anything, 600 is a good, safe bet to have. Roughly 200 of each color. So that is my tricolor shawl. So I finished that. We got pictures taken. We got the we got the pattern published, put out, sent out, and it's done well. There's been some interest in it. So if you haven't already gotten a copy, go find it and download it. Then we had the famous Gilmore Girls Year in the Life mystery knit along to go along with the release of the episodes on Netflix, and this is also unblocked. I've been wearing it, so I haven't wanted to part with it long enough to block it. So it starts with this sort of triangle shape down here, and then basically you knit it around. Each clue focused on one color, and so there's garter ridge bumps and then a lacy section for each color. Each lacy section is different, and you picked which colors you wanted in which order, and then each day was a different one, and then you just Kitchener stitched it together to join. So super fun. It was super quick, very easy. I finished each clue each day. I did wait to Kitchener it together till the Monday morning. The final clue was released on a Sunday, but I Kitchenered it the next morning because I was getting a little tired. So I saved that till I was a little more alert. But other than that, I was able to finish each clue within each day. And it was fun. So it kind of what goes along with each of the 4 seasons in the show, the 4 new releases. I won't go on and on about it. And I won't give any spoiler alerts about it. I wasn't able to watch it all on Friday. The Friday that, I had cleared my schedule to watch these 6 hours of Gilmore Girls, filled up with other things. But, so I was able to watch, I think, the first 3 on Friday, and then, or 2.5-ish, and then I finished the rest on Saturday, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. All the different emotions I think that you have when you're such a fan of the show, going into such a long break of the show, and then this. There's lots of different ups and downs when things happen, but I think from a writer and director standpoint, I get it. I get why they wrote it that way. I get why they did it that way, why it was directed, and all of those choices. I understand that. From an actor's perspective, I totally understand how hard it is to pick back up a character that you've been done with for quite some time. Like, I think people forget that these people are not actually Lorelai and Rory. And they've had other characters in between. And it's hard to just go right back and pick it up. So there was definitely some discrepancy, and you're like, that's not how they used to act. You know, Melissa McCarthy, who plays Suki, she's had such a range since Gilmore Girls, and none of it was really like her character on Gilmore Girls. And so I can understand it's got to be hard to pick up that character and do it the way you did it 8 years ago. So I understand that from an actor's point. From a true fan of the show, I was a little disappointed. I just wish maybe they hadn't ended it quite that way, or maybe they had given us a little bit more closure, answered a few more questions instead of creating some more questions, that kind of thing. But from the technical side, from the director, writer, actor, theater side of me, I get it. And I think it was perfect, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. So I enjoyed it, but I really loved making this, and I have loved wearing it. This has been a perfect throw over just on top of my shirt, grab a sweater. I don't even need a coat right now. It's still not that cold, and I'm still very pregnant. So I have this little internal heater that I carry around with me right now. But I have loved wearing this, and I've gotten lots of compliments on it already. A lot of people weren't sure about the V. There was just a scarf option that didn't have this. But I like it. I think it's a cute kind of statement. I tend to wear it like this with the V in the front. And someone commented how it's the perfect way to, in your coat, it just covers that gap when you're buttoning your coat, which is true. Or you can wear it in the back. I've seen quite a few people put the triangle in the back, and then it just looks like a cowl from the front, or, you know, you can throw it on the side if you're being a little sassy. So I've really enjoyed it. I feel like it's been easy to wear, and goes with a lot, and I've loved it. And the yarn, I love the yarn, Knitted Wit, Aran Weight. I have never worked with Knitted Wit before, but I loved it. I would definitely keep that in mind for future projects. So then, okay, this is a little bit of, I'm moving into the gift stuff I've been making. So a little bit of a spoiler alert. If you are related to me and you are expecting a gift from me this Christmas, and you recently had a baby, or you have kids that are girls, spoiler alert. I think actually either people that these are being given to don't watch the podcast, or I've already shown them the gifts for their children to know which one to give to which child. So we will start in order of finishing, I guess. So most of them are the Top This hats. I mentioned to you a while ago that you would probably be seeing a lot of Top This coming up because I had gone a little crazy in picking out a bunch of different ones, and I have all these little girls to knit for right now, so I got to go crazy with the girl colors. So this is the owl. It's purple. It's showing up much darker on the camera than it is. It's really a light purple, and a purple and teal and purple. Yeah. So this is the infant toddler size. So that was hat number 1. I have made 6 hats in 6 days. I'm just knocking these hats out. I don't know, I'm on a hat craze right now, I guess. This one is a flower. This is primary colors. It's a very true red. It's kind of looking a little orange on the camera, but it's a true red, yellow, and then a blue, red, and yellow variegated with a cute little smiley flower on top. This is the child size. Then the lion. This is a pink. This is pink. and orange, a pink and orange blend, and a variegated, and the little lion on top. This is also the child size. That's 3. Then this one was for my son. I had to convince him. I had to ask him if he could take it off for a little while so that I could show it on the podcast because he's been wearing it all day. I finished this last night. This isn't exactly in order, but I finished this one last night. This is actually made in the small adult size. His football hat that I had made in the small adult size, and he likes it because it's slouchy and it's not too tight on his head. So I made him this in that same size because I knew he would like it, and I knew that if I went from that football that was looser to a tighter snowman, he wouldn't want to wear the snowman. He is obsessed with snowmen right now. He loves snowmen. So he gets very excited anytime we see a snowman or a Christmas tree anywhere. So he was so excited. I finished this last night, gave it to him this morning, and he wore it. He's worn it all day, or all morning so far. So that's the snowman. And this is a blue with a white, and then there's a little bit of purple in this too. That's the snowman. Then this one was so fun. This is the Zandy Peters flower petal hat in Molly Girl Yarns. This is the black light responsive yarn because, you know, the baby's gonna go to a rave anytime now. Maybe she'll come black light bowling with me. The flower petal hat, and the Zandy Peters sort of specializes in this stacked stitches technique. The directions, the written instructions were very easy to follow. I did not take a class with her when she came. I haven't looked at a YouTube video or anything about stack stitches. The crazy thing is, you know, without giving too much away, you work it inside out. You knit for a little while and then you turn it inside out and you work a different way. And all these stitches, the stacked stitches, are stacked on each other. So it's like little almost baubles on your needles until you bind it off. And then you pull it off your needles and there's this flower that appears. And it's so cool. It was so fun. It was very easy. I gave myself a little bit of extra time to finish this one because I wasn't sure how that was going to go. And then this is just an I-cord pom-pom, which was easy and quick. This was a kit that I purchased when they came for a trunk show to our local yarn shop. So this is Dance Rascal Dance. This is Little Black Dress. I forget what this one's called, but it'll be in the show notes if you want to know that. So the flower petal hat. I have these same colors in full skeins for me. So I might make something else. I also have another kit for this hat that I might have to make for myself because I really do love it. This is made in the toddler child size, I think. So the flower petal hat by Zandy Peters in Molly Girl Yarns. Then this is just a quick little charity hat knit. I basically kind of just modified the hat patterns that I've been knitting all week and made a quick hat for charity for a party at our yarn shop that we're going to. They are taking donations. So this is made in leftover Quince & Company BB in the Earth colorway that I used in my dad's cowl. Which in the cowl I held it double with a brown Quince & Company Finch in the bark colorway, but this time I just did the green. So those are the 6 hats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 hats in 6 days. So those are all my finished objects as of right now. So then what's on my needles is another hat. Can you believe it? This one is for the new baby, the baby that is not here yet. This is Top This again. obviously making the infant size, and it is going to have a penguin on it with a cute little scarf and earmuffs. We've been calling this baby penguin since we found out I was pregnant, because it was going to be my winter baby. Both of my other boys were born in the summers, and so this is my first winter baby, and I love penguins. We've been calling him baby penguin, although right now we've been calling him baby Max, because my 2-year-old has decided that his name is going to be Max, and we ask him what he wants to name the baby, and he just says Max, and we give him other suggestions, and he says no, Max. So we've been calling him baby Max. The baby's name is not going to be Max, but we can call him Max for now at least. So I'm making him the penguin. The middle child, Rome, he is either going to get the Christmas colors with a star at the top, or the elf. The star, I have the star yarn. The elf is coming. And so my husband and I wanted to look at them together before we decided which one we want for Rome. So he will get that one when it comes. So first I'm going to make the babies. And that way, because he'll be born in January, and so he'll need a little hat right away. So he's going to have the infant size, and I think it'll be cute that he'll already have a hat to match his brother's. And this is housed in my pretty cheap project bag with the bird in the front. This was the wrapping for a birthday gift that I got last month, which was so cute. So that's the project bag that's holding that. And then also technically on my needles is the painted windows cow that we are doing as a group that I completely forgot to mention last time. That's the picture of what we're making, painted windows by Casa Pinta. And I am doing it in Manos del Uruguay Allegra and Stress Knits Impulse. And this is what I have so far. I guess maybe this is up. I'm not sure. Anyways, so that's what they're looking like so far. I just had started another window or that might be all the window, when I put it in hibernation. This is on my needles, but it is in hibernation until I finish all of this gift knitting, because the cow runs from November 1st to January 31st. So there's still a lot of time left to finish it. This is housed in my Mrs. Brown's bag. There's the Mrs. Brown's bag. Housed in that for now. So there's plenty of time to finish it. I just needed to put it in the hibernation so that I can get all of this gift knitting, because a lot of these gifts are being mailed. Obviously my sons are here, so if they were to have taken longer, that wouldn't have been bad. But I wanted to make sure I got everything else done in plenty of time to be able to mail it so that it arrived at their final destination in time for the kids to get their presents on Christmas. So that's what's on my needles. What's coming up, I think, is going to be some stuff for me. I am normally a fairly selfish knitter. I don't knit for other people very much. I feel like you're either kind of one or the other. Like, you knit for yourself or you mostly knit for other people. And I mostly knit for myself. People are picky, and not everybody is knit worthy. They don't understand what to do with handmade knits. They don't necessarily respect handmade knits. And so I'm very cautious about who and what who I make things for and what I make for them. But I have all this fun Christmas yarn that I got for me. I have some stuff coming in stash enhancement that I'll show you in a minute. And I have the Oink pigments that I showed you a couple episodes ago. That's the Christmas colorway. And because I want like hats for myself or mitts or something that I can be wearing this season, so I want to finish them soon. So I think those will be coming up next for me. Because, why not just keep making hats? Plus, I also have the Twisted or Accident in the Candy Cane Factory yarn that I won from the giveaway from Tam's Crafty Knits podcast that I think would make a really cute hat. And then the Geeky Girls are having their winter Wonderland cowl. So anything that you can make related to winter goes in that. So I want to make some of these things for that cowl. Then there's also the White Christmas cowl that they are doing, hosted also along with Vegan Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick. And the White Christmas cowl is anything you can convince them is related to the movie White Christmas, which I love, and I haven't watched it yet this season. So I'm also excited about that. And with the Winter Wonderland, this will segue us over to stash enhancement and acquisitions. They just released their White Christmas collection. It's a collection of 4 patterns. I think it's 2 socks, a shawlette, and a shawl. The first pair of socks has been released, and then I think they're releasing one a week or so. But if you purchase all 4 right now, I think through Wednesday the 7th, I think, don't quote me on that. Check the Geeky Girls. They have that information. If you go ahead and purchase all 4 as a collection, you can get all of them for $9. And I think the one by itself was like $5. And so I went ahead and did that. And then in the White Christmas cowl, if you knit one of those, you get double entry for each one. So you can post it twice. So that's 8 entries if you do all 4. Then if you do all 4, you can post additionally 2 more times. So you can get 10 entries if you knit those 4 items in their White Christmas cowl from their White Christmas collection. And so I'm totally gonna do that. I'm gonna try to, along with my painted windows, and somehow I will stay monogamous through all this. Just wait, it'll happen. So then also with acquisitions is I splurged with my birthday money, and I found a great sale over the holiday weekend and Cyber Monday and all of that on a pair of my very own Hiya Sharps interchangeables. Everyone's raving about Hiya Sharps, and I've not really used them very much. But I got my very own interchangeable Hiya Sharps kit. It just arrived. I'm so excited. I will probably, when I go back to the painted windows, switch to this. They're not ideal for the hats, because I have, really small, small pointed needles, that I like for hats, because you don't have to do magic loop until the very, very end. That's the length of the needle. And then it's just a small, I don't even think this is 16 inches. It's bigger than 9, but less than 16. So it's perfect for hats. And so I've been doing all my hats on those needles. But I'm excited to do something with these brand new needles, and get to test them out and see how just by touching them, I see what everyone's talking about. These are nice. They're not as sharp as the signatures that can skewer you, but they're definitely a much finer point than even my Chai Goose, and I've loved my Chai Goose. So that was one acquisition. Then we finally made, we being my mother and I, a Brew City Yarns update. We had it on our calendar. We were paying attention, and so I got some fun yarn. So first up is the Christmas one that I was talking about. This is Silver Bells. This is their Champagne Fingering, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% silk. So there's silver bells, which is really pretty. So I'm excited to make something coming up for me with that. This is Sherlock, the Sherlock colorway in their premium draft sock yarn, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So these will be socks. And then, because I couldn't resist, wine in a sippy cup. And this is their MCN cordial fingering. So this is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon in their wine in a sippy cup colorway. It's a much brighter purple than is coming, and blues than is coming out on the screen, but I love it. So I'm trying their different bases. I wanted to test the different bases and see sort of what each one knits up like, so I would know for the future. So that is my current stash enhancement. So that covers all of my fiber related updates. So let's move on. Next is reading and watching. Reading, I finished Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for book club. And I'm always amazed. Like I said before, I've read this book at least half a dozen times, probably closer to a dozen times. And I still get so into it. Like I get emotionally attached, and I'm all worried about the beavers, and I'm yelling at Edmund in my head, and I'm, get so sad when Aslan dies and the stone table, and then you're so, it just, even though I know exactly what's going to happen, I get so caught up in it. And I think that's probably why it's a classic. It's why it's a classic children's book, is because it can keep you in, even when you know what's about to happen. So we finished that. So I next will read The Magician's Nephew, go back to the beginning of the chronological order, and read The Magician's Nephew, although I have not started it yet. I am still reading my friend's book. I'm not a monogamous reader, so I will read both books at the same time. I just simply haven't started The Magician's Nephew yet. But I am still reading my friend's book. I have a little bit of time. I promised him I would finish it by the end of the year. So we're working on that. Then watching, obviously Gilmore Girls was a big deal. And I had watched all of the regular seasons, prior to the Year in the Life release. And so I've done that. So there was a little bit of a, what am I going to watch now moment. But then I found that Midsummer Murders released a new season that I hadn't seen. So I've been watching that latest season of Midsummer Murders, which I love. I've loved that series since way, way back. And so that's on Netflix, so I've been catching up on that. And then, funny story, I had told you last time about how the Great British Baking Show was coming back December 1st. Here's the funny thing about watching TV and not being able to hear. Commercials, for the most part, are not captioned. So when I watch a commercial, I don't actually know what's being said. So I saw this commercial for a baking show that was in a tent, that was being judged by Mary Berry, and that was going to be, season 2 is coming out on December 1st. And so I thought it was the Great British Baking Show. And I suppose if I was able to see December 1st, I should have been able to see the title of the show. But somehow my mind missed that and just focused on the December 1st and the fact that Mary Berry was in it. So it's not like I didn't hear accents of anybody talking, and I didn't think to ask my husband, oh, are they British or are they American? It's the Great American Baking Show, based off of the Great British Baking Show. And apparently this is season 2. So apparently there was a season 1 that I had never heard of. And it does follow the same format. They're in the tent. They have a signature bake. Like each week is a particular type. So like the first one was cakes, and then the second one was cookies. And so the first part is a signature bake where they can bake whatever they want, their signature item in that genre of food. And then is the technical bake where they're given most of a recipe that's like Mary Berry's recipe. And I think the first one was for her apple almond cake or something, but she doesn't give full details. So they kind of have to be really, it tests their technical skills. How well do they know the technical side of baking, like how wet the apple should be to the ratio of almonds or something like that. So they follow that format. And then the final showstopper where, and the technical bake, the judges don't know who baked what, and then they're ranked. And then the showstopper where it's like the big deal, tiered cake or cookie scene. And then based on sort of how they did all three, someone wins that episode, like star baker, and then someone goes home. And so I'm still liking it. I love that. I'm glad that Mary Berry is still judging. I feel like she kind of makes it. It's not quite as funny or as quite as entertaining as the Great British Baking Show. The two girls that host the Great British Baking Show are just funny. Like, they're actually naturally funny. Not that these people aren't, but I feel like this time it's a little forced. They're trying too hard to be that show. So some of their jokes are like, and then I think one of the cool things about the British Baking Show is that it was British pastries that are common to them, but that I don't know anything about. And so it was kind of like learning something new about baking each time, whereas this time it's like cookies. But it's actually still been very interesting. So I watched those first two. It was the first episode, but it was 2 hours. So on ABC or whatever it is, they had broken it down into 2 episodes. So I caught up on those. And I did enjoy that. And apparently there is the Great British Baking Show is like in season 3. I've been way behind on that. So I was wrong. It is not the Great British Baking Show. It's the Great American Baking Show. I misunderstood the commercial because I didn't have all the information. I was searching and searching for the Great British Baking Show that aired on December 1st, and I couldn't find anything. And I was like, am I going crazy? But then I found that the Great American Baking Show aired on December 1st, and I realized my mistake in reading the commercial. So that's that. So those are the shows that I have mainly been watching. And then I've been trying to catch up on podcasts because my husband and I are not able to watch any of our shows. He's in basketball 6 days a week, and he gets home so late at night that by the time he gets home, I am exhausted. Half the time I'm already in bed, and it's like I can't sit through a show that I have to think about. So we are very behind. So I haven't been watching any of those. So that's it for reading and watching. So let's move on. Next is signs of the day. So I pulled some suggestions from the sign language thread in our Ravelry group. And I thought that it might be good to sort of go through the segments of the podcast and teach you the signs for the different segments. So, for example, I had taught you knitting already. But then make. So what are you making, and what did you finish? We've learned all done, finish. So that you finished making, that you are making now, or that you will make in the future. Will, now, finished, make. So these are fists, dominant hand on top, Palms in towards you for the first touch. Then you twist outwards, opposite directions. Make. Then yarn. That's kind of obvious, self-explanatory, right? Why we're doing this. So yarn. I feel like that's a good, thing for fiber artists to know. Then when we get into the reading and watching section, book. This is the pages of the book opening, the covers of the book opening in front of you, book. And read. So it's a V or a 2 hand shape. And these represent your eyes, and this represents the page, and you are reading down the page. Read. So book, read. And then watch. There's 2 different signs for watch based on 2 different concepts. Watch is the same, representing your eyes, coming from one eye out. Watch. This is sort of anything other than TV or movies, right? Watch the sporting event. Watch the baby. Watch the pot. Watch. For TV or movies, it is watch. Watch. And this is from the more you watch TV, the more slack-jawed you tend to get. So watch. So watch TV. So in terms of the podcast version of reading and watching. So for today, I don't want to give you too much at once. So we have make, and then along with that, we also reviewed finish, and then learned now and will, and yarn, book, read, watch, and watch. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the segment, this episode. So this one was a little longer because I had so much more to show you. Hopefully I will have more fun things to show you on the next episode, which will be just a little bit before Christmas, so that'll be fun. We can learn some Christmas signs, and that's all I have. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, and you will get a notification whenever a new episode is posted. And follow me on Instagram, friend me on Ravelry, join the Ravelry group, all of that good stuff. And happy knitting. Until next time. Bye.